In this episode, we dive into one of Victorian England's most bizarre and enduring urban legends, Spring-Heeled Jack. First sighted in 1837, this sinister figure terrorised Londoners with his inhuman agility, devilish appearance, and ability to leap over rooftops. Described as having flaming red eyes, metallic claws, and sometimes even breathing blue flames, Spring-Heeled Jack wasn't just a ghost story. He sparked panic, police investigations, and public outrage across the UK for nearly 70 years. Join me as we explore the eerie origins of the legend and its possible links to earlier ghost sightings like the Hammersmith and Southampton apparitions. Eyewitness accounts that chilled Victorian society, including the infamous attacks on Mary Stevens, Jane Aslop, and Lucy Scales. The public's reaction. Newspaper reports, Mansion House hearings, and wild theories of aristocratic pranksters in disguise. How the myth transformed from fearsome villain to folklore hero in penny dreadfuls and theatre, influencing the birth of superhero fiction. Speculations on who or what Jack really was, a man with gadgets, a prank gone too far, or something not of this world. Was Spring-Heeled Jack a real person, a supernatural entity, or just a terrifying trick of mass hysteria? Join me as we dissect the clues, sift through the fear, and leap into the mystery. The legend of Spring-Heeled Jack didn't materialise out of nowhere. In fact, London had already been gripped by a ghostly terror before his arrival. In 1803, the Hammersmith ghost made the headlines. A white-cloaked spectre said to haunt the city's churchyards. In Southampton, similar tales emerged of a phantom attacker who leapt away before he could be caught. But in October 1837, things took a darker turn. Mary Stevens, a servant girl, walking home through Clapham Common, was attacked by a tall cloaked figure. He grabbed her tightly, kissed her face, and ripped at her clothing with claws that felt metallic and cold. She screamed, and he vanished. No trace, no footprints. The very next day, a carriage driver crashed after a similar figure leapt into the road, laughing maniacally, before bounding over a high wall in a single leap. But 2 months later, it would get worse. In February 1838, Jane Aslop received a knock at the door. The man claimed to be a policeman, and they had caught Spring-Heeled Jack, and he needed a light. She brought a candle, and that's when he attacked. Eyes glowing red, flames shooting from his mouth, claws tearing into her, Jane was dragged into the yard before her screams brought help. Just over a week later, Lucy Scales, 18, was walking through a narrow alleyway in Limehouse with her sister. A figure emerged from the shadows, shot blue fire into her face, and fled as she collapsed in seizures. The fear had become real, and the name Spring-Heeled Jack would now echo across England. The Victorian public were not prepared for what came next. Newspapers were flooded with sightings and reports. One article from the Times even referenced a letter from a resident of Peckham describing the figure's frightening agility and inhumane appearance. Then came the Mansion House hearings, where London Lord Mayor revealed that he had received anonymous letters accusing a group of aristocrats of playing cruel pranks by dressing up as devils, ghosts, and bears, leaping out at unsuspecting victims. Still, the damage was done. Panic spread. Servants refused to go out at night. Fathers walked their daughters to work. In some neighbourhoods, militias were formed to patrol the streets, and Jack kept appearing. In places like Ealing, Camberwell, and Kensington, he would leap from rooftop to rooftop, laughing, sometimes even leaving claw marks on the wall, sometimes disappearing entirely. Police were overwhelmed, no arrests stuck, and the press began calling him the Terror of London. Was it one man, or many? Was it all imagination, or something worse? Over time, fear gave way to fascination. By the 1860s, Spring-Heeled Jack had become a recurring anti-hero in the world of penny dreadfuls. The cheap, sensationalized fiction of the Victorian working class. In these stories, Jack was no longer just a monster. He was sometimes depicted as a caped crusader, using his incredible jumping powers to fight crime or punish the wicked. On stage, he became a theatrical villain, part phantom, part Mephistopheles.
Hell's Messenger.
Audiences couldn't get enough. He was arguably a proto-superhero, a figure who inspired early ideas of characters like Zorro and perhaps even Batman. What started as a real terror slowly morphed into myth, then folklore, then eventually entertainment. But the mystery remained. Who was he really?
Let's break down the leading theories. Many believe Spring-Heeled Jack was Henry de la Poer Beresford, the Marquess of Waterford, a known troublemaker, alcoholic, and member of high society. He had the means, the motive, and a twisted sense of humour. But he died in 1859, and sightings continued for decades after. Victorian London was a breeding ground for panic, gaslight, fog, crime, and rapid urban change. Could Spring-Heeled Jack have been a psychological manifestation of collective anxiety? Possibly, but what about the physical injuries, the claw marks, the dozens of eyewitnesses' reports across regions and decades? Some suggest that Jack was an early inventor or military engineer. The idea of spring-loaded boots, flammable breath tricks, and costumes with claws isn't entirely far-fetched. But no schematics, journals, or prototypes have ever been found. And then, there are the believers. Those who claim that Jack was a demon, an alien, or not a being bound by the laws of nature. His immunity to bullets, his glowing eyes, his vanishing axe. Could he have been a visitor from somewhere not of this earth? Whatever the truth, Spring-Heeled Jack never got caught, never revealed himself, never aged, and maybe he never left. What do you think? Was Spring-Heeled Jack real? A bored nobleman? A ghost? Or something beyond explanation? Send your thoughts, sightings, or your own local legends to thefuelofyournightmares@gmail.com or DM me at thefuelofyournightmares on Instagram. You may hear your message in a future video. If you're loving the Fuel for Your Nightmares podcast, please consider subscribing, leaving a rating, and sharing the show with a fellow true crime lover. You can also support the show directly at my Patreon, patreon.com/The Fuel of Your Nightmares, for ad-free episodes, bonus content, and behind-the-scenes research notes. Next time, we cover a real-life UFO sighting from the quiet West Yorkshire town of Todmorden. Until then, keep your lanterns lit, your rooftops guarded, and your eyes on the shadows, because some things leap beyond reason. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.